So is the property market gonna crash? Now this is the number one question people ask me, followed closely by should I actually buy now? And guys, before I begin, as many of you know, I've been buying, selling, renovating and holding properties for over 10 years now. And what I have seen over the past 2 years, it's been pretty nuts. Houses have literally been flying off the shelves at record prices and people are literally snapping them up quicker than toilet paper at my local Morrisons. However, what I will do for you all today is run through the data, the news, and give you an idea of where I believe the property market is currently at and where it's going, and also my perspective on what I feel it would do over the upcoming months, which will hopefully help you out. So with that, my good friends, if that sounds like something you're interested in, please do smash that like button and feel free to drop any questions or comments you have down below and I'll try my best to get back to you. So my friends, it's no secret that we've all had a mad rush for space over the past few years. The race for space due to lockdowns and pandemics has seen a staggering rise in demand for houses, with of course, more space. But that is now seemingly slowing down. And not just because I'm saying it. You see, reports from Halifax have shown that things are now starting to change once again. Mortgage lenders have now stated that the growth in the price of flats is currently outpacing the growth in the price of detached houses, which was a complete opposite in the last few lockdowns. I say few because I've almost lost count of how many lockdowns we've actually had. And data has shown that in November, flats were going for 10.8% more than they were the year before. And all of this, at least for myself, is interesting, given that the UK house prices have risen in their fastest pace in 15 years, with the average price of a home being valued at £20,000 more than it was this time last year. And to be honest, it almost makes me want to sell all my houses right now and buy more Bitcoin. Although Bitcoin's kind of having its own problem right now too. But anyways, I digress. As this graph shows over here, you can see that the record highs of UK property prices in November was staggering. We've seen a massive steep rise. It truly is remarkable given the rates of inflation, uncertainty and the chaos that the world is going through that we're still splashing out, at least in my eyes, ridiculous amounts on houses. However, we've all heard the phrase that time in the market is better than time in the market. And for that, I sincerely hope that people are buying houses for the long run, because should we see a crash, something I'll run through in a moment, then holding on to your properties will most likely be your smartest decision rather than panic selling and then losing out. Now, another interesting article I did find was that house price sales, despite smashing all of its records over the last few years, were now finally starting to slow down. Something I did predict, guys, would happen in Q4 this year. Although I don't want to sit here and blow my own trumpet, but prices, in my opinion, are still absolutely bonkers. And that for me as an investor just makes my life that little bit more difficult. Finding deals and making good returns has been an uphill struggle. And when you get to my age, which is a lot older than I look, I promise, I sometimes want the path of least resistance, and I haven't actively been looking as much as maybe I should be looking, given the sheer amount of viewings I'm seeing for houses and offers exceeding prices, which are going through the roof. It almost makes me think there's very little value in the market. Now, if you are new to the industry and wondering what drives the changes in house prices, then it is a matter of growing demand not being met by the current supply of houses. Essentially, everyone wants a house, but there's just not enough of them. So what does the future hold for us? Are we going to see a crash, or are we simply going to see prices continue to rise as the government switches on their money printing machine once more? Well, if we look at the data, Halifax is not expecting the current level of house price growth to continue into 2022. Firstly, we aren't seeing our incomes rise as much in comparison to house prices. Well, that's been a thing for ages. Houses are obviously becoming more expensive to run. We know the energy problems that we've all been facing lately with our bills going through the roof. And while the economic confidence is all over the place at the minute, we only have to hear about a new wave or a variant and the panic instantly sets in. Now, could this cause interest rates to rise? Perhaps. And if this happens, well, then we open up a whole new can of worms. Now, I did speak about inflation and interest rates in the last video, so please do check that out if you need to know more about that and how it could potentially affect the housing market. But what I do want to finish on is my thoughts on the UK housing market and a potential crash. Now the argument for why it won't crash is simple, and I've mentioned this many times on this channel. The supply is not there to meet the demand. So whilst demand exists, we can potentially see prices continue to rise because people are going to pay for it. On the flip side, however, with increased inflation and the possibility of higher interest rates around the corner, mortgages may become less affordable, resulting in the demand to owning a house actually falling by the wayside again. Now, how the government navigates this will be interesting. And do be sure to subscribe because I will keep you all updated when they do so. Will it be more Help to Buy initiatives? Who knows? Perhaps. Or will it be more money printing? Again, very likely. But one thing I can say for certain is that if you are buying a house or you have bought one recently, I urge you all to at least acknowledge the potential downfalls of your current or past decisions. Had you brought out what I truly believe is the top of the housing market, I would hate for any of you to have an increase in interest rates causing your own debt to pile up on a home that, well, let's be honest, could be seen as considerably worth less in the near future. Although, as I mentioned earlier, if you have a long-term plan for your purchase and you are now aware of the possible problems that could occur, then hopefully you can at least mitigate against these. And my main goal is to keep you guys safe and obviously out of bad debt. And with that, my friends, I'm going to cut the video there. And all I ask at this point is you kindly smash that like button if you found any of this useful, and drop any comments down below as well if you have anything else that you want me to discuss or any thoughts on what I've spoken about today. And of course, guys, when you guys could have been doing anything but you chose to spend a few moments with me, that makes you pretty awesome, and for that I'm very grateful. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching.